storytelling is a creative alternative to traditional writing that fosters engagement and motivation in students. Additionally, student stories are shared, promoting collaborative relationships with the storytellers in their community. Hello, my name is Gruber, and today I would like to introduce you to my Action Research Digital Storytelling project. My observed instructional problem was a lack of student engagement in the storytelling and writing process. My proposed solution was to enhance students' engagement in the writing process through the introduction of digital storytelling. I began my project by scouring the available academic peer-reviewed research to become familiar with what had already been done. I found several studies that offered helpful insight into digital storytelling and its effect on engagement in the classroom. I began to utilize the principles of multimedia learning theory. Digital stories offered an effective use of multimedia in the classroom while avoiding overburdening the cognitive load of the working memory. The literature reviewed supported my research to the letter. The Keeler study showed that digital storytelling led to increased motivation and a deeper understanding of literary content. Additionally, it was also shown that a common motivation was the desire to influence others with their story. I also found students were more engaged in any core curriculum if given the opportunity to integrate digital storytelling. Additionally, sharing their movies was a highlight of the class and the final activities. The studies of Drion, Kerper, and Landis showed that while digital storytelling does increase engagement, that implementation can be challenging. The study found that equal access for all students to web-based instruction was very difficult to attain. I also ran into technical difficulties with the availability of technology to students. Although 90% of my participants had computers or media equipment at home, most were not allowed to use the equipment. Additionally, only 40% had access to reliable internet service. Even at the school level, the computer lab was minimal, with an extremely limited bandwidth. We worked around the difficult internet situation by using software and media assets preloaded on the student and teacher computers. I purchased class sets of headphones, flash drives, microphones, and HD video cameras for the project. I agree with the research that universal access still remains a serious problem. I designed my project using the ADDIE instructional model. The steps involved allowed for flexible yet very thorough planning of my workshop. Analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation were key steps in the process. My target audience included 20 middle school students, ages 11 to 14. My workshop took place in an after-school program. Classes were conducted in the school's computer laboratory 2 days per week for 2.5 hours per day. All participants were volunteers. Therefore, I was concerned about commitment and attrition rates. The first step in the ADDIE process was to analyze the target audience. During my Emergent Technologies class, I had learned that student analysis was vital during my Relevant and Innovative Learning Scenario, or REALS project. My project was unsuccessful, and my participants claimed the activity was not relevant to their lives. Due to this experience, I designed a pre-assessment survey to better understand the engagement of my target audience. My pre-assessment collected data on demographics, current engagement levels, and typical computer use among the target audience. Assessing the learner's prior knowledge of digital storytelling, their anxiety levels, and their motivations for joining the workshop were necessary. The prior knowledge of the target audience was of utmost importance in determining the direction of the workshop series. My expectation was that the students would be able to use Windows Movie Maker, personal assets, and Web 2.0 media assets to create a digital story that demonstrated the 10 elements of digital storytelling at a higher level than prior to the project. In the process, students would become more engaged in creative writing. The technology I used was Windows Movie Maker and various Web 2.0 tools. I borrowed the middle school's internet-connected computer lab with pre-installed software. I outlined predetermined criteria to verify proficiency in both technical skills and the digital storytelling process. I began building my workshop by setting up a means of communicating and organizing assignments. All students obtained a Gmail account, an iGoogle page, and a Schoology account. I used Schoology for my AR project because of the organizational ease. The learning management system gave me the opportunity to solidify my assets and create an online version of my project. All announcements, learning objectives, assignments, and multimedia tools were housed in Schoology. Included under the Schoology resources were several designed while enrolled in the Full Sail Educational Media and Instructional Design Technology Masters of Science program. Under resources were links to my Prezi presentation, my music video, and assets from my filmmaking principles class, all focused around the 10 key elements. The 10 elements of digital storytelling presentation incorporated the key points followed by several film clips. The presentation was paused, and students discussed how each clip reflected the element. They also talked about which clip used the element most effectively. The Prezi integrated a deep understanding of story elements while using an engaging multimedia technology. Research shows teachers who have increased multimedia use in the classroom found that students were more engaged using multimedia technology. Assignments were also easily accessible for all my students. The final outcome assignment was for students to complete an autobiographical digital story. Although the assignment culminated over various steps, the final project requirements and rubric were placed within the Schoology LMS. The rubric provided was one that students would easily recognize. The students use a variation of the rubric while learning the 10 elements of digital storytelling. They use the rubric for note-taking, film analysis, and storyboarding. The rubric allowed students to list the 10 elements and provide evidence from their digital story. It was then submitted for feedback. With this format, the project was evaluated by myself, the teacher, and by peers. Although these scores could be transformed into grades, grades were not required for the after-school voluntary project. Certificates of completion were given to all participants that indicate a beginning level of proficiency with both the technical aspects and the language arts elements of the project. Post-interviews were also conducted near the end of Cycle 2. The final week was for celebration and presentations for parents and faculty. All in attendance were thrilled with the results.
How does it feel when you're successful and you've learned something?
It feels good because I know I'm awesome.
Any advice for me? Like if I do this next time, what should I change? What should I keep the same?
You should keep everything the same and not change anything.
Really?
Yeah, because it's fun as it is.
Do you think you'll continue to make films in the future?
Yes. Yep, it was awesome.
My proposed solution was successful in that students were more engaged in the writing process and other core curriculum. However, other important student revelations became very clear. Students volunteered their time to attend the workshops. Some students had to give up other beneficial activities, such as study hall or sports, to attend. Yet they all attended and worked very diligently, even though grades were not given as a motivator. Additionally, students became more interested in their own learning process. During Cycle 1, less than 60% looked forward to school or were excited about learning new things. Following Cycle 2, students became more concerned about the importance of learning. 100% of students claimed learning was important. 80% acknowledged that they worked hard to learn new things and that they thought about what they were learning and were able to ask questions. Finally, 80% reported participating in activities and projects in order to learn new things. All of the project volunteers looked forward to coming to school and felt learning was fun and important. My capstone project prepared me for my future research. Although the project did show signs of increased student engagement, it also revealed numerous areas of concern. This project completed, I plan to explore different avenues and tools to enhance student engagement in core curriculum. I have recently become employed as a K-8 teacher for a virtual academy. I hope to expand my research into student engagement and its connection with student retention in an online learning environment. Another area of concern is allowing students to access the technological tools they need. Although the success of my project was inspiring, it has also left me with a quest that must be continued. My goal is to encourage the acquisition of technology in my local area and to aid in the effective use of that technology. With the technology that is available, a lot is underutilized. I plan to share my skills that I learned from my Action Research project to allow better use of what is available. In conclusion, my Action Research project has been one of the most pivotal points in my educational history. I've developed new skills, new philosophies, and new motivations to continue my research. At the beginning, I was hesitant and anxious about my project. Along the way, I had several instances of success and some disappointment. In the end, experiencing true student engagement in the classroom made it all worth it.